Same jury that convicted Jimmy Dimora of corruption will now decide whether or not the former Cuyahoga County Commissioner can keep his home and assets. The jury will be back in court tomorrow. Investigator Ron Regan has been leading our coverage on this big case from the very start. And Ron, we understand today the defense wanted to try to get the case continued for 60 days.
Well, that's exactly right, Lee. Dimora's attorneys argued that they simply couldn't come up with an accurate cash value of the amount of home improvements done at Jimmy Dimora's home. Now, you'll recall that Dimora received tens of thousands of dollars worth of free home improvements in the form of bribes in exchange for county contracts he gave to his friends. Now, his lawyer said it would take them at least 60 days for them to go back to these companies and apparently ask them for invoices or records that would somehow relate to the value of those bribes. But federal judge Sarah Leoy said, nope, no way, not going to happen. You've had more than 2 years to get this kind of information, and she said she was frankly surprised and baffled that they would even ask. Now, Mr. Dimora, we've learned, is now being housed at the Northeast Ohio Correctional Facility near Youngstown, and he was transported from there to the courthouse this morning. And this is interestingly, when he arrived in the courthouse, we expected to see him dressed in a traditional orange kind of jumpsuit, perhaps. Instead, he came in, he was given back his suit and tie, and he was able to climb back into that for the courtroom. So he will be able to remain in a suit and tie as the hearing continues tomorrow as well. Lee?
Well, so he was wearing a suit and tie, but otherwise, Ron, you were the only television news reporter in the courtroom. How did he seem to you?
Well, he looked very tired. He looked fatigued. You know, I've seen him now for days, and this morning he really looked more disheveled. He had dark circles under his eyes, and he looked very much fatigued. Now, tomorrow is the actual forfeiture hearing, and the jury will decide exactly how much of Dimora's assets must be seized to repay his ill-gotten get and all of the value of his bribes. And as you mentioned, that could include the value of his home. Lee?
Okay, Ron Regan reporting for us. Thank you. And when the jury returns to the courtroom tomorrow, we'll be there. Look for continuing coverage of this corruption trial here on the air and online, newsnet5.com.